You ever stop and think about what it really takes to move a world leader around? I mean, it's not just a car ride or hopping on a plane. No, it's a massive, massive logistical operation. We're talking about a fortress on the move, designed for one thing, projecting absolute power and security. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to pull back the curtain on the incredible mobile world of the Russian president. From his daily commute to a major international summit, every single move is like a masterclass in security, strategy, and, yeah, even style. And to give you a sense of scale, get this, 3,000. That's the number of elite, highly trained officers that can make up his security detail. And this isn't just your average security team. No, this is basically a small army, ready to go anywhere in the world at a moment's notice. All right, so here's how we're going to break this all down. First, we'll look at that human security bubble. Then we'll get into the vehicles on the ground, his command center in the sky, and even how he travels at sea. And at the end, we'll connect all the dots and see why all of this really matters. So let's start with that security bubble. For the Russian president, you got to understand everything, and I mean everything, begins and ends with security. It is priority number one, and it shapes every single travel decision down to the smallest detail. Think of this security bubble as like a living, breathing thing. We're talking thousands of officers who just melt into the crowd in plain clothes. They're basically an invisible shield. And every single trip is planned with, military-level precision. Nothing is left to chance. Okay, so how does this play out day to day? Let's talk about travel on the ground, or in this case, a little bit above the ground. To get around Moscow's insane traffic, he often skips the roads altogether. His daily commute is often in an Mi-8 helicopter. Now, you might recognize that model, it's pretty common. But believe me, the president's version is anything but standard. And of course, he doesn't just have one. He has two, just in case. Step inside, and it's a completely different world. It's basically a flying office/luxury lounge. You've got these plush sofas, cutting-edge communication gear, even a mini kitchen and a fridge. The whole idea is that no time is ever wasted, not even for a second. But, sometimes you gotta hit the road, and when the helipad isn't an option, he gets into a vehicle that is, for all intents and purposes, a fortress on wheels. He travels in a Russian-made limo, the Urus Senat. And yeah, you can see how it compares to the US president's Beast. It's bomb-proof, bulletproof, has all the high-tech comms, but here's the crazy part. Even if the tires are completely shot out in an attack, it can still drive for another 30 kilometers at a pretty good clip. Just think about that. And speaking of driving, check this out. It takes 10 years, a full decade, of intense training to become one of the president's official drivers. That's just wild. Because these guys aren't just drivers, right? They're elite Federal Protective Service officers. They're basically commandos who happen to be behind the wheel. They can shoot while driving, pull off insane high-speed reverse maneuvers. Their whole job is to be the last line of defense. Total pros. All right, so that's the daily stuff. Now let's scale up and talk about when he travels internationally. This is where the whole operation goes to another level. It's a massive undertaking that starts weeks, sometimes months before he even leaves. So here's how it works. First, an advance team goes in to secure the destination. Then they literally fly in his personal limo and his drivers on a separate plane. Everything has to be perfect, totally locked down before his own jet even thinks about taking off. And that jet, it's the Elysian Il-96-300 PU. This is the Russian Air Force One, and they've got 4 of them, all identical. And let me tell you, it's way more than just a plane. It's a flying command center. You can really think of this plane as having 2 halves. On one side, it's like a flying palace. We're talking a bedroom, a gym, conference rooms. But the other side, that's a full-on military headquarters. Secure comms to anywhere in the world, the ability to launch nuclear weapons, and it even has an emergency escape pod. Wow. Okay, but it can't be all high-stakes command and control, right? When it's time to relax or for more, let's say, informal diplomacy, there's another option. And that's where the super yacht comes in. It's staffed by a big crew, has plenty of luxury cabins and VIP suites. But it's not just for vacations. It's a private, super secure place to meet with people away from all the official cameras and formal settings of the Kremlin. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, the chopper, the limo, the jet, the yacht, you start to realize something. This isn't just about travel. It's about something much, much bigger. Every single piece of this mobile fortress is strategic. It's designed so the government can run from literally anywhere, guaranteeing continuity. And using Russian-made vehicles, that's no accident. It's a powerful statement about Russian strength and self-sufficiency. It all works together to project this very specific image of power on the world stage. And that kind of leaves us with one final question to think about. When travel becomes this elaborate, this choreographed, you have to wonder, where does real security end and where does political theater begin?